The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning.
You can save up to $1,930 on a new furnace and AC combo or boiler. Don't miss this great deal. Go to standardheating.com.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
And how many drinks would you say you consume each week?
Socially, about 4 to 6. Alone in the dark while crying to Adele, 100.
On 93X.
What's up, brother and sisterhood? Dana here from the show. You might want to be sitting down, brace yourself. You might not believe this if you listen to the show regularly because we're usually on top of these types of things, but we had some technical difficulties today. Very rare around here, we know. Long story short, the podcast, not all of it got recorded, so what you're going to hear now is a little bit of an abbreviated version. We're very, very sorry. Trust us, it frustrates us just as much as it frustrates you. Hopefully the good parts got saved and the bad parts are just gone forever. That would be ideal, but enjoy the show. We're hoping to get this fixed, and we'll have the full podcast back tomorrow and next week and for all eternity, but let's be honest, there'll probably be some more technical difficulties at some point. Anyway, enjoy the show. Thank you so much for listening to the podcast. We can't tell you enough how much we appreciate your support listening to this podcast every day.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. 93X.
Today we celebrate
Florida. Florida is America's kind of drooping nutsack. It's a scrotum. When I say it's a scrotum, because I've been teabagged with that state. I've been all over it. The only reason to visit Florida is to identify your daughter's dead body. That is it.
Everybody thinks Florida is so glamorous because that's all you see on TV. It's always like CSI Miami and Dexter and Miami Vice. There's only one TV show about the rest of Florida. It's called Cops.
After all, it can't be any worse than when we went to the Florida Panhandle.
Oh, God, my wife's choking. Is there a doctor in the house? College graduate? High school graduate? Some high school with vocational degree? Whoever gets the shrimp out of her windpipe can have it.
Happy National Florida Day.
Showtime!
I think there are a lot of shysters in Florida, but others believe simply you go to Florida and you get the money. Welcome to our Thursday edition of the 93X Half-Ass Morning Show. Thanks for listening. We're closing in on the end of the month here, Cubby.
I know. I mean, just this week alone has gone by quickly. Can't believe it's Thursday already.
Yeah. Tell you what, and if
Dana and Ashley, this is what a 5-day work week feels like. How did it go for you?
Oh, it's going real smooth.
Yeah, good.
Thank you.
Yep. I was worried.
And I'll tell you, if you just came out of a coma and you had to look out a window today and guess what month it is, you'd probably say March or April.
I was cleaning up dog poop and shorts yesterday.
The dog poop cleanup?
You don't have a dog.
Understandable. The shorts, don't get it.
Yeah, it was shorts and a hoodie. Felt great.
That's the first thing I do when I get home is I put on some shorts.
The basketball shorts.
Basketball shorts. Again, you never know when someone might need my jump shot.
And your driveway. And
I'll be ready.
You got a hooper in your driveway. I'm guessing the driveway is pretty clear right now. There might be some kids that come ring your doorbell and say, one-on-one, let's go.
Clear as June or July. Yeah, and I've got that crooked hoop.
Yeah.
So if I'm ever going to play a pickup game somewhere, I'm going to have to kind of lean the basket over just because that's what I'm used to.
That's your excuse if you airball a jumper. You're like, well, I'm used to shooting this at a very low angle, so this flat surface is not I'm not used to this.
I'm not. Yeah, I got to have just quite the grade there.
It's Florida Day.
Yeah, National Florida Day. And what's great about National Florida Day is I looked everywhere to find out why today. Why is today? You'd think, well, it must have been founded on this day.
Right.
You know, the 27th state, founded on this day in 1845. But that's not the case. It was founded in March. And I even asked Dana, I'm like, you're Mr. Internet, can you back me up here? Why is it National Florida Day? We couldn't find anything that explains why it's today, January 25th.
Sometimes I think with these holidays, they say, all right, National Florida Day. Then they just spin a wheel and like, all right, looks like January 25th.
It's got to be.
National, double-ended day. Let's spin the wheel. All right, August 13th.
But you'd think, like, honoring a state, there'd be some reason for it.
Yeah, so They could have made it the 27th because that would signify the 27th state in the union.
Yeah.
But they did the 25th.
Exactly. So
It's so close
It's
to
very
being meaningful.
Florida. Very Florida.
Yeah, you could have just done 2 days later, dudes.
Maybe it's one of those deals where someone got hit in the head with those frozen fallen iguanas that seem to happen every year in Florida, and they just picked the wrong date.
Is it Dan Marino's birthday?
Let me look that up. Saw a lot of him this year.
Is it Don Shula's birthday?
Dan Marino, no. September 15th.
Was today the day that Scarface debuted in theaters? Now, I'm trying to figure it out myself, but maybe you're right. It's just fitting that it doesn't make any sense because a lot of what we talk about from Florida also doesn't make any sense. I'm looking through our stupid news report to see if we visit Florida today. I don't think so. I think we were very English today in the stupid news. About as close as we get here maybe is Atlanta, Georgia. Because Florida makes itself known in our stupid news report over and over and over again. All right. Well, there you go. National Florida Day. We'll celebrate accordingly.
Well, got to give a shout out to Punta Gorda Jesus, who lives in Florida. He's a Minnesota transplant. Is Florida still the place that retirees go? It seems like a lot of Minnesotans would go there, or is it more Arizona and Tennessee now?
I hear a lot of Arizona now.
Same here.
Yeah, it seems like that's where they're going to hit up the golf courses and whatnot.
I feel like people have seen enough news stories to know that they might want to go Arizona.
The snow.
Enough
Florida stories, yeah.
Like, I'm not going there. They're eating people's faces. They're taking that crocodile.
I'm not going to trust those bath salt people.
The what's the term again? The snowbirds that I know, most of them go to Arizona or close to Florida, I guess, Alabama.
Oh, Jesus says we're idiots. It's National Florida Day.
Oh.
The rapper, not the state. Yeah, we screwed that up.
Easy mistake.
All right, well, to make up for it, we'll play Flow Rida the rest of the show.
Flow Rida, you say?
Mm-hmm.
I'll be damned. All right, so here we go. Thursday morning. You know, yesterday we had my twin brother on the radio with us. He thinks he's funny. He thinks he's cute. He comes on the radio. We were talking about food with my brother. And one of the foods we discussed was that Nutella setup.
Yeah,
Nutella. What do you think of that Nutella?
Not a fan.
I don't partake, but it's popular in my family, and usually, so I have a second job so I can afford to keep buying Nutella. Not the cheapest stuff in the world. But yeah, we actually had to slow my son down because that was primarily what he ate, was Nutella. He put it on everything.
He loves this stuff.
Yeah.
All right, now
yesterday he's dipping bananas in Nutella.
Ooh.
He loves it.
Somewhat suggestive.
Oh, my God.
I mean, he's
12 years old.
He's a young guy. He's 12?
Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, that's when I started doing suggestive things around the house just to be suggestive.
Sticking phallic fruits and spreads and whatnot.
Maybe I was, how do you call it, what's the word folks use? Maybe I was a early bloomer? What?
Yeah, there you go.
There's a term I'm missing. So now what do you think of Nutella as speaking of children, what do you think of Nutella as a name for an innocent child, an innocent, unknowing baby?
Well, you know, that's obviously like a lot of those names. It's for the parents, so they can say, hey, I named my kid Nutella. How clever and crazy am I?
That's so weird. Don't do that. Don't do that. Children are not objects.
By the way, you know, I just got a text from Short But Fat Sheeses. When we had my brother on the radio yesterday talking about food, I missed this opportunity because I'm a stupid idiot. I never asked him what he thinks of clam chowder.
Oh.
Yeah, that was dumb.
I liked it as a kid. I don't know. I'm not a fan anymore. And maybe it's because of your story.
Yeah, probably. So here in the United States, as we've already sort of mentioned, over the last decade or so, it seems to me, especially over the last decade or so, it's become a lot more common for parents to give their children really stupid names. Like Josh was hinting at, like Ashley was hinting at. Some folks just can't wait to show the world just how brilliant and original they think they are. And it doesn't seem to matter to them that years after they're dead and gone, their offspring will have to suffer the embarrassment of having a really stupid name.
Yeah, you know, just having nut in your name, that's going to give you probably years of misery once you hit middle school.
Exactly.
Kids figure that out.
I didn't even consider that. And I'm the one who was overly suggestive at 12 years old. That didn't even dawn on me that the word nut is right there. In France, and I know what you're saying. You're saying, again, he's gonna hit us with all of his knowledge on France. I apologize, but yes, I'm going to go that route again. In France, they have a way of policing the morons. Baby names need to be approved by a court. I think that is such a great idea. And the name one set of parents picked for their kid was ruled so stupid that a judge said no to the parents, and then he went ahead and banned anyone else from ever trying to use it ever again.
Don't even try that.
And that friggin' name was Nutella.
I like that.
Chocolatey spread, whatever it is. I haven't tried it yet, but it sounds like the rest of you are quite familiar. The parents wanted to name their little baby girl Nutella.
You know, why not a nickname like you guys have probably seen the story out of Wisconsin. A couple, they get stuck in a McDonald's parking lot. They end up having the kid right there, a pregnant wife, just she can't hold it in anymore. And they nicknamed the kid McFlurry. You know, how about nickname them Nutella or something like that? Just a little, and then they don't have to put that on their driver's license or hear the teacher read it for attendance, things like that.
Mm-hmm. So according to the local French newspapers, the judge explained himself by saying the name Nutella is the trademark name of a spread, and that is contrary to the child's best interest because to be wearing a name like that can only lead to teasing or disparaging thoughts. So, he made the final ruling on the child's name?
I like that. He said, hey, you know what? I'm going to take this.
I love this.
You guys, you lost your naming privileges.
You had your chance.
We have to adopt this over here in America. He got the final ruling on this baby's name, and he changed her name to Ella. And I've known one Ella in my lifetime, and it's a nice enough name. And the French were actually far more strict with names not too long ago, up until 1993. French parents could only pick a name from a list of acceptable options, which were mostly names based on Catholic saints. There was just a list, and you had to pick a name off the list up until 93. Hell, I was 22 years old in 93. That doesn't seem like that long ago to me. But that sounds like something from the friggin' 1800s. Here's your list of baby names. Pick one. These days, French folks are able to give their kids any name, but if a judge finds that their choice is not in the best interest of their child, then it won't be allowed. That just cracks me up.
I like that. I'm glad they have that power.
And wouldn't you? I don't know about the rest of you, but I would do just about anything to be a member of the American Baby Name Police.
Be on the panel?
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm sorry, that's stupid. You can't do that. No, that's dumb. You have to. You got to spend 2 weeks in jail for that one.
That would be so much. I would look forward, not that I don't look forward to coming here and working with you people, but I would look forward to every single day because I'd go to bed at night thinking, tomorrow I'm going to shut down a douchebag. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Tomorrow I'm going to...
I don't want to say them just because I don't want to offend anybody if they have the name, but my wife, when we were coming up with names, some of the ones she came up if it was a girl were absolutely ridiculous and made no sense whatsoever.
Right.
None.
Mm-hmm.
We're to the point where I thought, are you putting me on?
Yeah.
Where's the camera?
Uh-huh.
Is Ashton Kutcher going to bust out of a wall somewhere and say I got pranked, X'd? What was it again? Punked.
Oh, that would be fun to be a member of the Baby Name Police, just shutting down morons who thinks it's okay to use their children's names to advertise how smart they think they are. If people want, they can go ahead and text me their children's names, and I'll tell you if it's stupid or not.
Went to school with a guy who's...
I'm kidding, of course. You guys are all looking at me like, what a dick.
I assumed you weren't going to do that.
I wouldn't really do that. Well, 651-989-9393 if you really want to take me up on that.
Maybe you could respond via text. You know, it takes some time later on to tell if it's stupid or not.
Right.
He had a friend whose dad had a name that was a euphemism for masturbation.
Oh, no.
Right.
And he ended up going by a different name because how much crap he got about it.
I think you have to.
Yeah. And I never put two and two together with the last name combined with the first name, which was, once I figured that out.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
What's wrong with his parents? But I don't think it was a colloquialism for masturbation back then.
I hear you.
Oh, this is a good point. But you didn't mean not to, Jesus. Sometimes it's not the name as much as the spelling that's outrageous. I agree with that.
Yeah.
For people who have like a name like Dave. That's JDAHVE.
Yeah, I had that. That's weird.
Capital D, small d, AYVVE.
Yeah.
And then
then the number 3. No, that's Dave.
There's a number in there.
There's people I met. There's a particular woman whose name is spelled very odd, and you'd never guess the pronunciation by looking at it. Even once she tells you, you're like, for real?
Could you spell it and maybe try it out on me? See if I could pronounce it?
I don't want to just because how sensitive she is about it.
Oh!
And if you mispronounce it, she's furious.
Oh, no.
And it's like, well, nobody's going to pronounce that correctly.
Right.
I mean, nobody's trying to offend you in any way. You're mad at the wrong people. Go to the folks that sired you.
Yeah.
Your mother and father, they're the ones that hung that on you. Because then the rest of their life, they're going to have to say, no, it's spelled this. And they're going to have to deal with looks.
Every single time we have to draw names out of a box, for these gigs that we do, bar gigs.
Oh.
Every single time I'm like, come on, Sam.
Yep.
Let's go, John.
Oh, I'll bet.
Because every time you have to read what they wrote, so it's like, oh, boy.
Please let it be easy.
Is this Rebecca? I have no idea.
This is funny. There are some listeners who are texting me their children's names and waiting for an answer as to whether I think these names are stupid or not. Do I actually go through with this? I probably shouldn't go through with... I probably shouldn't tell them what I really think. All right, so I was mentioning that we were closing in on the end of the month. Oh, man. So I suppose next up is Valentine's Day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Some of you chumps out there are already scrambling your ass off to come up with something for Valentine's Day for your high-maintenance partner.
My house has been decorated for a while.
You decorate for Valentine's Day?
Like just heart balloons?
Yeah, a lot of hearts and pink and all that. Yeah, I do like a cute little Valentine's table setting. I love the pink and the red and all that. It makes me happy.
And you just like decorating too.
Yes, I love having a new, a reason to take down the old decorations and put up new ones.
Well,
I always like something going on.
Chipotle, they're hiring a bunch of staff because it's coming up on burrito season, I guess. Maybe you could decorate with some burritos or something at the house.
I didn't know burrito season was a thing.
That would be awesome.
That's cool.
I mean, how do you, these goofy holidays, National Florida Day, things like that. Do you decorate for those or is it just the big ones?
No, just the big ones.
All right.
Do I need a license to hunt burritos during burrito season?
Yeah, I think you do. Yeah, you got to be at least 12 years old.
What have you handed me here, Josh?
That's a name.
Okay.
Of someone I know.
So the top writing here is the spelling?
That's the spelling, yes.
This is the spelling for a human being's name?
It is.
No, it is.
Yes, it is.
And then below that is the pronunciation?
Correct.
This is the dumbest thing I've seen all day. Can I? You don't want me to mention this?
Gosh, she's probably not listening.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's her kid, so this is a different one.
This is so good.
Basically, it's 2 letters that don't belong together at all.
It's 2 letters. And it's not Al. Okay? There's 2 letters. I want to talk about this so badly.
Actually, don't.
Okay, I'm not going to.
No, now people are going to be mad at me.
No, there's no reason.
Call.
No reason to be mad. Next time I just at the next who are we? We're the Half-Assed Morning Show. The next what do they call that when we get together? The next big thing.
Like promotion.
The next big promotion where listeners and this radio program gather, ask us about this baby name. I won't forget this. This is great. This is so great. And also so friggin' stupid.
Yep.
All right. Okay. Sorry, I lost it. No, I'm not going to say the 2 letters. People are texting in. Say the letters. I'm not going to do it. And don't be mad at Cubby. Shouldn't have made such a big deal out of it.
Yeah, that was supposed to be an off-air thing, but yeah.
Oh.
But that's That is pretty ridiculous.
No, we leave these folks guessing. So Valentine's Day. Here's the good news if you're one of these sorry bastards that's up against it, come this time of year and you gotta go get something for your significant other. Gwyneth Paltrow has dumped her new Valentine's Day gift guide on the general public.
Sure. In the past, we got what? This smells like my vagina, that candle.
Mm-hmm. There was a candle called what again?
This smells like my vagina.
My vagina.
Yep. Anybody ever purchased that?
No.
Vagina candle? No.
Isn't her gift list expensive?
Most of the stuff is pretty spendy, yeah. Uh-huh.
It's not AF. That's not the initials for that person.
Okay.
It's not... I wonder if you can still buy that. It sells out, right?
This smells like my vagina. All right. I'll give you a quick rundown of what Gwyneth Paltrow is selling here this time around. The name of her company is Goop. So this is the Goop Valentine's Day Gift Guide.
It's one of those words that kind of makes me feel uneasy inside.
Yeah, I think that's the goal, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, it'll cost you a few bucks. A lot of dildos. It's like a night out in Green Bay. A lot of dildos. A 24-karat dildo.
Wow.
24-karat gold. That's over $1,200 if you want a 24-karat gold vagina wand. That's it. That's the end of it. 24-karat gold vagina wand. $1,200 some odd dollars. The item that most folks have been talking about since this busted loose is a little vibrator. You wear it on your finger, and it says here it will, quote, bring pleasure wherever your hands wander. So now people are just going to be masturbating in public with this little ring on their finger.
Little ring vibrator.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen those.
Hey, nice to meet you. What, did you just give me the old shock thing? The handshake shocker?
Nope.
Nope.
This was just in my privates. I've been trying to convince my wife to get something like that. Maybe not the ring finger one, but just in general. She won't do it. She refuses. She's not cool.
She refuses to buy a sex toy?
Yeah, she won't do it. She's pushing drugs on me, and I won't do it.
Yeah.
But then with this, I said, well, how about this? Little quid pro quo.
Yeah.
I'll try one of those gummies you're pushing on me. If you get one of these.
I'll do a drug, you do a dildo.
Boy, she sounds like a lot of laughs, huh, boys?
No kidding.
I'm kidding. So this is a little ring. You throw it around your finger like a wedding ring, I guess. And you can just masturbate wherever you want with this. That's $195.
What would you want? I mean, is that, Ashley, you mentioned you get excited, you go ahead and you decorate for, I always want to call it Thanksgiving. For Valentine's Day, is there a particular, are you the stereotypical flowers and chocolate type of person? Bottle of wine, or what would make you happy?
Some type of food, and I like it's a meaningful gift. Doesn't have to be an expensive gift, but something that means something.
Put some thought into it?
Yeah.
But what if your boyfriend says, it's a Hallmark holiday? You hear people say that. It's made up to sell cards.
I warned him, when we first, definitely in the first couple months of us talking, I love Valentine's Day. I don't think it's a stupid Hallmark, I get it, yeah, whatever. That's the whole gimmick, right? With the majority of holidays, they want you to buy crap.
So you would be upset.
It is important to you.
I'd be bummed out.
It is important to you.
What do you say to a guy who might be dating someone who says, you know what, it's not really a big deal to me. I'm not big into Valentine's Day. Does he listen to that person, or does he still get that person a gift and take them out?
I would still get them something.
That seems like the smart play, doesn't
it? Maybe some flowers and a card. A card is crucial. That's the best part.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. I don't like buying cards anymore.
I love cards.
I hate it.
Because
I'm so extra about it. I'll go through, especially the love ones. I'm such a sap. I'll go and read 20, 25 of them, and I'll be crying in the aisle. It's so sappy, but I just can't help it.
What the hell is the matter with you?
It's just so adorable. Some of them are so sweet.
Hey, Josh, you have an extra $77 laying around?
Maybe. Maybe. Payday's coming up.
I know what you make.
Well, we make the same.
In the time it takes you to say $77, you make $77. Hey, look. And we make the same amount of money. So we just did it again, didn't we? I did it again.
$77.
You did it again.
Yeah. What a day.
If you have an extra $77, you can shop Gwyneth Paltrow's Goop Valentine's Day gift guide. You can buy, this is perfect for you, the Feel Better Naked Kit. What do you think about that? Because you don't feel good naked.
No, not at all. I don't feel good clothed, but yeah, naked is much worse. Sometimes I even think about that. Let's say you're watching an action movie or something, and the dude's being tortured, and then they make him get into his boxers in front of a bunch of guys, right?
Oh.
And I think, that right there, you got me. I'll tell you whatever you want to know.
Yeah. Well, you got me down to my drawers.
Yeah, don't put me in that position.
I must look so ridiculous right now.
I know. Go ahead, just let me wear my clothes and grab those the battery cables. Zap me. I don't want to get in my underwear.
The Feel Better Naked Kit. Oh, they'll throw some exfoliant your way if you buy that kit, whatever that means, and some oils.
Exfoliate's one of those words I've heard a lot, and I have no idea what it means.
That's something about
it's like removing the top skin. Top
is that
layer
what that means?
skin.
Okay.
Violently scraping the top 2 or 3 layers of skin off of your body.
Hey, what do you guys think of this? So Valentine's Day, a buddy of mine, his wife and 2 of his 3 kids.
Oh, let me guess. They're going to Cancun.
No, they're...
sorry, I blew up.
So you got Valentine's Day, and his wife and 2 of their 3 kids born on that day.
Whoa.
I personally think that'd be great. You can get it all, you can get most of it wrapped up just in one day.
Yeah, one big fun day.
What are the odds of that? Three
Yeah,
people in one family all born on the same day, and it's a holiday.
Yeah, the mom and the first 2 kids all born on Valentine's Day.
Lick me down. I've never heard of such a thing.
I mean, you'll probably be doing some saving for that day, but, it's easier to remember.
Yeah, knock it all out.
My brother-in-law, a lot of their... so my sister and a niece is December, and they're very close to Christmas. And then the other one is the end of October. So they're all kind of right in that range.
Oh, gifts or birthday gifts and Christmas gifts right in the same wheelhouse?
That's very close together.
Yeah, November through April, there's something once or twice a month. Between holidays, birthdays, anniversaries, that kind of stuff.
Oh, those are like my dead months, thankfully. Like I usually nothing in January. Nobody in December, just regular Christmas.
I have no dead months. It's just something all the time.
I had a boss once he told me he intentionally got married on Valentine's Day because it fell on a Saturday that year. And he goes, hey, 2 birds, 1 stone. I'm never going to forget the anniversary. It's perfect.
That's smart.
Yeah.
The last item I'd like to tell you about from this stupid list of gifts that Gwyneth Paltrow came up with, or at least her company, Goop, came up with. It's some kind of gimmick to get rid of wrinkles. It's $2,600. It's a wrinkle zapping kit. Wrinkle zapping. I already told Josh how to pull the wrinkles out of his face.
How?
Stop wearing a bra.
I don't think that's a good gift to give somebody on Valentine's Day.
Well, it depends on the person. What if you know they like it?
Yeah, they're into
Yeah, that's true.
I got my wife some Miss Bum Bum cream.
That's right.
And she enjoyed it.
That's a good point.
We all enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And people are still texting in. Josh was telling me about, he wrote me a little note. I lost it a few minutes ago. He knows somebody who has a 2-letter name. 2 letters in the first name, and it's not Al, it's not Bo or anything like 2 letters in the first name, and when you look at these 2 letters, you would never guess how you pronounce that name. This is just hilarious, but I'm not going to say it because I don't want anyone to get in trouble or anyone to get mad. But people have been texting in. The 2-letter first name that's ridiculous, is it BJ? No, it's not BJ. I loved those initial names when I was a kid. The dudes that I went to school with the initial names, I thought that was so cool.
It is cool. Here, I wanted that so bad.
I went to school with a BJ, and there was nothing about that kid that wasn't cool, and we didn't pick on him for that because he was cool. I went to school with a BJ, plenty of DJ. I went to school with a kid named DC. I thought that was badass.
Oh, that is cool.
I haven't seen him in DC's still in town. That's very cool. I was very envious of that.
Anybody ever give you guys a nickname like that? There's one guy, for whatever reason, Nick, you know him. He calls me JB all the time.
That's
lucky.
nice.
And nobody's ever really done that.
Yeah, I've got a few nicknames amongst my friends and family, but they're not initialized. No, but
I got initialized once because when I was in high school, it was J-Lo and A-Rod, so that whole thing was going on, so I got a lot of D-Wes.
That one sucks.
Blame my friends. Don't kill the messenger.
What up, D-Wes? All right, that's enough. That's it. We'll see you guys tomorrow. No, we got to take a breather, though. We're just getting started here on the Half-Fast Morning Show, Thursday. Trust me, we'll be back here in a few minutes on the program.
Half-Assed Morning Show.
They're loud, they lose control, they do their little circus act, they're a nuisance.
93X.
Our experienced and certified technicians at Standard Heating have been trusted to keep our fellow Minnesotans comfortable and confident for over 90 years. We're ready to do the same for you, providing comfort you deserve since 1930.
Standard Heating and Air Conditioning's 94 years of business celebration is going on right now. You can save up to $1,930 on a new furnace and AC combo or boiler. Don't miss this great deal. Go to standardheating.com.
What companies deserve your hard-earned dollar? Which would you want to work for? How can you know if they share your values? Just ask us. Just Capital is a nonprofit that tracks who really means business in supporting workers, customers, communities, the environment, and shareholders. We measure progress, track success, and help them be better. When you see the Just Capital seal, you know what's real, because just business is better business. Visit justcapital.com to learn who makes your dollar count.
Stupid news on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
Way over there. When we went live. Way the hell over there.
Yeah, your mic was over there, you're over here.
All right, I think we're ready for this stupid news. Christ. But one text message I wanted to throw your way. What the hell were we talking about? Gwyneth Paltrow, oddball that she is. Every Christmas and Valentine's Day, she comes up with a series of gifts. Her company is called Goop. A lot of them are vibrators and
usually quite sexual.
Body oils and, sexual stuff. I was telling Josh that one of her items for Valentine's Day that she's selling now for big piles of money. One of the items is the Feel Better Naked Kit. And I thought that would be great for Josh because he's not the most confident naked guy in the county. The Feel Better Naked Kit. I got a text message from I'm Not Fat, I'm Aerodynamic Jesus. He says for him, the Feel Better Naked Kit is a blindfold for his wife. That way he can feel better.
Do you think Gwyneth Paltrow is that eccentric and a bit odd, or is this all an act?
I think it's legitimate.
I think she's odd.
Yeah. I thought it was more of an act, but maybe you're right.
Josh, they're all living in Hollywood. Every last damn one of them is odd.
That part's true.
Yeah.
So
can't deny that.
She was told that successful companies have double O's in the company name, like Google. So that she took her initials and then put the double O in there.
Sure, like you think of some of the biggest companies around, like, Amazon.
Yeah, right? eBay.
Tesla. Pepsi.
Microsoft.
Yeah.
Coke.
Sony. All double O's.
I can think of a wildly successful company with double O's.
What's that?
In the name, and that's Oops All Berries.
Oh, yeah.
From the cereal division. What is that? Captain Crunch?
Captain
Oops All...
Crunch.
Right.
Kellogg. There we go.
Pornhub.
You're doing great.
What about...
Red Tube.
Now it makes that sound.
REDTOOB. Red Tube. I had another one cross-bomb. Cooper Tires. Okay, anyway. On to the stupid news.
Goodyear.
Great year, Wapple. It's been a great year.
All thanks to you.
Apple.
It's actually kind of funny. We were just saying what we were saying. As we head into this first stupid news story, it's kind of fitting. I am not the strongest speller you've ever met.
Might I say you have improved greatly?
Well, that's
over the
very nice
years.
of you to say.
Significantly, I'd say.
Probably from sitting around writing all the time, preparing for the show. I suppose that would, practice makes perfect. Maybe I appreciate that. Maybe I am improving in my spelling. I was never much for, all that fancy word spelling.
My favorite moment is, every once in a while I say, how do you spell this word? And one time the word was genius.
Mm-hmm. And I spelled it wrong.
You did?
Yeah.
And I think you were in the process of typing back to a member of the Brotherhood, I'm a genius.
Yes. I was bragging about how I am a genius, but I could not spell genius. That is accurate. I'm jealous of folks who have great spelling skills. Jealous. G-E-L-U-S-S.
God, you nailed it again.
Perfect.
I made a fool out of myself when I was in third grade. You want to hear a quick story?
Yeah.
I had to compete in a spelling bee. And when it was my turn, our teacher asked me, how do you spell the word straight? And I said, okay, straight. S-T-R-A-I-G-H-T. And my teacher said, nice job. Now, what does that word mean? And I said, without ice. My parents got a phone call after that one.
Do you remember taking on my stepdaughter in a spelling test on air? Way a long time ago.
15, 16, 17 years ago. Yes, I do.
And you won by one word.
I do. I beat her. She was maybe a third grader.
Something like that,
and I challenged her to a spelling competition because of my poor spelling skills.
She's a very good speller.
We thought that a third grader would be a proper matchup for her. At the time, I was 35 years old. But yeah, I beat her by one.
Do you remember the winning word that I gave to you?
If I'm not mistaken, I won the contest by spelling ESPN.
That's correct.
Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You nailed it.
Suck it, Allie.
Yeah, I remember she's like, hey, you can't do that. Like, why not? Give me a good reason why you can't do that.
She was pissed.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Here's a fella out there in the effing United Kingdom whose poor spelling skills and his need to flash and harass women has put him in jail. Here's how this played out. Gary Young, a 48-year-old. He's been convicted of exposing himself to women on the street and whatnot. Because of his creepy behavior, he was ordered to cease all contact with his ex-girlfriend. She blocked him on Facebook, but he just went ahead and tried to reach her with a fake account. Gary created an account with the name of Mary Montgomery on it.
Don't do that.
To contact his ex.
She'll never figure it out. This is a woman's name.
The girlfriend said she immediately recognized Gary's terrible writing style on the Mary Montgomery account. And when she saw a post with the misspelling of a nearby county, that was the dead giveaway.
I recognized him from the poor spelling and the weird penis.
Yeah.
Instead of correctly spelling the county Somerset, Somerset, Gary instead spelled out Summerset. So she knew it was him. He sucked at spelling, and she had seen him make that mistake many times when they were dating.
Dude, dumbass.
Mm-hmm.
That's so awesome.
When she contacted the police about Gary bothering her on social media, the cops actually asked him to properly spell Somerset, and he effed it up again.
Oh, no.
And that's how they knew they had the right guy. This whole mess went to court. Gary said he didn't remember contacting his ex-girlfriend on Facebook because he's been drunk off his ass ever since she left him.
Oh, no.
Poor guy.
Gary's having a rough
Yeah,
one.
he's going through it.
He's making that up very likely.
Yeah.
I mean. But, even if he's not, that's kind of funny.
But also it's funny, too, that he says it like the judge is like, oh, all right, he was drunk. All right, yeah, that's a very valid excuse. You're good then.
But this guy's been creepy, and so he's going to have to sit in effing prison for a year.
Sounds like he deserves it.
Yeah. There was apparently another phrase that Gary used while posting things on his fake Facebook account that his ex-girlfriend recognized as a very Gary thing to say. Now, I could be wrong. This is an English story, so you know they talk stupid. You tell me, is this a slang term for a vagina? The phrase Gary used was pickle cottage.
I've never heard that before.
Doesn't that sound like something a dopey English dude would nickname a virgina?
Yeah, it does.
Pickle cottage? Josh, can you use pickle cottage in a sentence for us? Like we're at a spelling bee?
Yes. I walked into the wrong restroom, and I saw a lady's pickle cottage.
That was perfect. Gary was previously convicted in March of 2023 of 3 instances of exposing himself. He was convicted of stalking also 9 years ago, so he's a real cutie pie, this one. Walked into a bathroom, the wrong bathroom, and saw a lady's pickle cottage.
And Wapple, let me tell you, you'll understand this. It was kind of a big deal.
Oh, yeah, it was. Huge deal.
We should try this next time we're all gathered at one of our houses. Hopefully it's my house, because Dana lives in Minneapolis, and that sucks. Josh lives in Eagan, and Eagan sucks. Wapple's in Woodbury, which absolutely sucks, and Ashley is in Coon Rapids, which is the worst. So hopefully the next time we gather at somebody's house, it's my house.
What is it about your area that makes it great and everybody else's sucks? There's nothing redeeming about everybody else.
What is it
I was
about
trying to think about it.
My hometown that makes it so
Your
great?
proximity to Lake Minnetonka, perhaps?
That's a big reason. That's a big reason.
All the money?
Ooh. Yeah, that's big too. All the rich folks, you can hang out with the rich folks.
The babes?
Babes are pretty hot in my neighborhood,
Oh, you like chicks.
You're
He loves chicks.
Yeah.
You got a movie theater close by?
Sorry, I went on and on bragging like that. You know what I mean? Guys kind of answered the question for him. Here's what we could try next time we're gathered at my house. Which one of us could we individually, which one of us could we fit into a dryer? Now, Dana won't fit in a dryer. I'm sure I won't, but I bet we could fit the rest of you individually at one time in a dryer.
I'd like to give it a shot.
Yeah, I'm sure I could fit.
My uncle was stuffed. He was the youngest. He was stuffed in a dryer as a little kid.
Oh, no.
I used to hide in the dryer during hide and seek.
Did you hide in the dryer?
Mm-hmm.
Did your brothers ever turn it on?
No.
You guys have told me about this thing that keeps happening where women get stuck in a dryer, and thankfully there's someone that is able to help them out.
Have you not been clicking the links I send you?
I do not. I very rarely click links anymore because of guys like you.
The reason I bring it up, I think this was in Louisiana. A suspected cocaine dealer was found hiding inside a dryer at his house. And he fit in there nice and snug. He'd been selling crack rocks. The story didn't indicate this crack rock salesman's height or weight, but he got himself inside a dryer, so I'm guessing he ain't the biggest fella you ever met. But next time we're all gathered, let's see. Like I said, I'm fairly sure Dana and I are out, but I think the rest of you, we could put you in a dryer.
Yeah.
I could probably get stuffed in one, I would think.
Yeah, that'd be cute.
I'm not fat. I'm aerodynamic. Jesus has checked in again this morning.
What the hell is this guy's problem?
Well, he wants you to know that he once saw a girl's pickle cottage, and he got so excited he started gherkin off. See, gherkin is a brand of pickle.
It is.
Yeah.
Gherkin.
And it rhymes with jerkin.
It does.
All right, he's cut off for the rest of the day.
Oh, I enjoyed that.
Cut off. Who here is into fitness? Because you guys all know that I'm way into fitness.
Oh, I like fitness.
Big time.
A little bit, I guess.
Not really into
The
fitness.
normal amount.
Oh, I'll make up for Ashley and Wapple. I'm way into fitness.
Me too.
You guys don't have to be into fitness.
And you know what?
I'll take that. I'll wave that flag. Yes,
For anybody who's about to text us at 651-989-9393, I love fitness. I mean, I love it.
In Atlanta, Georgia, there are some folks coming uncorked because a pole dancing studio has started what they call a Mommy and Me workshop.
It seems the pole dancing craze has faded. It was one of those, like spinners, right? Blew up. They were huge. Everybody wanted those spinning rims on their vehicles.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. You saw them all over the place, and then they just died. And pole dancing classes. There was a pole dancing gym right over here, not too far from our work, that lasted about a month.
Yep.
People are getting them at home, and you could do like workout DVDs with them and stuff.
It was hotter.
It was quite a craze.
Hotter than Dutch love there for a while. Everybody was pole dancing, and then it over. I'm kind of hoping the same thing happens to pickleball. But anyway, there's a fitness studio. What did I say? A pole dancing studio has a Mommy and Me workshop, and critics are accusing the joint of sexualizing children. The joint is called Pink Poles Studios. They went ahead and announced on social media that they would offer a new class for kids to spin and whatever you do to get fit through pole fitness. And they posted videos of children, some very young, gripping the pole, spinning round and round. The studio says moms can unleash their inner child with their daughters or sons, exploring a variety of fun pole tricks and spins. Now, they've gotten an overall positive reaction. The classes are sold out. But like I said, some online are accusing the workshop of potentially hypersexualizing young participants.
Well, I mean, it looks like a heck of a workout. I watched some of the videos, and man, there's some talent there for sure.
So as a dad there, Cubby, you wouldn't be bothered if, say, your old lady, let's say you had a young daughter and not a young son at this moment in time. You've got a 12-year-old son? I can't believe that kid is 12.
I know.
Let's say you had a 12-year-old daughter and your wife...
He's too dumb to be that old.
If your wife wanted to bring your daughter there, you wouldn't have a problem with them doing pole dancing together?
Well, I might raise an eyebrow like The Rock a little bit, but I would trust my wife to, if she thinks it's a decent idea, then go for it.
The studio...
I mean, like I said, it would stick with me a little bit. I can't say I wouldn't wonder if this is a good idea. Like Chris Rock said, your only job as a dad is to keep your daughter off the pole.
He did say that. The studio is pushing back against their critics. They're saying that the kids will be swinging, sliding, and flipping on a pole under the guidance of a trained children's gymnast instructor. And the moms, of course, will be there to cheer them on. They point out that the owner of the place, her name is Tia Harris, has no exotic dancer background or affiliation with stripping. The media often misrepresents pole fitness as being the same as pole dancing at a strip club. The school stressed that pole fitness is not stripping. The youngsters will wear age-appropriate gym wear. All of the adults will be fully clothed, too. And on and on like that. This is interesting. One person, all mad about it on social media, said, well, it's just like gymnastics. We all know dang well that weirdos also watch children's gymnastics videos online.
I agree. We got to outlaw gymnastics.
Yeah.
We all know what again? What are you talking about? And it's funny because then someone combated that opinion by saying, I don't know why you'd even think like that. Someone should watch you if those are your first thoughts.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Uh-huh. I agree.
I've never once thought that myself. Yeah, that somebody's out there watching those for the wrong kind of pleasure. Oh, no.
What?
Nick, you and I, we both said we love fitness.
Absolutely. I'm sticking to that comment.
Me too. I was until delivery driver Sheezes texted in and said, oh, you love fitness, do you? How about fitting these nuts?
Son of a bitch, they got us again.
We are the two dumbest guys around. We always fall for this.
By the way, one final argument on this pole fitness story is folks who are advocates of pole fitness say it is an Olympic sport now. Okay?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Which I I did not know that. I know there'd been conversation of it becoming it's an Olympic sport. I
didn't know it was official. Yeah,
I don't know it's official, but now that I think about it, I've seen people do it like competitively, like clips of it online.
So you're saying it is or is not official?
I don't know if it's official. I know it's not. I don't know. Excuse me. Let me start over.
Yeah, you just got. Sometimes your brain works faster than your mouth.
I don't know if it's an official Olympic sport, but I do know people do it competitively because I've seen clips of people doing it online, whether that was the Olympics or just some type of competition like the Minnesota State.
Now use pickle cottage in a sentence.
Yeah, it looks like it is an Olympic sport.
Is it?
Well,
No
go,
way.
go.
Oh yeah, there's Dana's mom.
Yeah, number one in town.
I'll be rooting for the United States. That's where I'll be. Okay, I'm not trying to be a dick here, but this has got to be a setup created for social media attention. A lady says she discovered a creepy shrine to Nicolas Cage hidden under her house. She told the story on Reddit.
I would not like that.
She bought my old house?
Yeah, you are a big Nick Cage fan.
That is very disturbing.
Come on.
You're probably the biggest Nicolas Cage fan I know.
I don't know.
You are?
There's some really big Cage fans out there.
I didn't know you were a Nicolas.
Well, that I know.
Yeah, okay.
I said. So
sure, yeah.
you, I forget, did I get you that Nick Cage pillow or did you have that already?
I have a couple of them. One of them was a wedding gift, and the other two people have just given me over the years.
Yeah, I think I gave you one of those.
All right, now I'm starting to remember some of this stuff. So come on, you jumped on it because it's quirky?
No, I mean, I grew up loving The Rock, Con Air, and Face Off, and those three movies came out in like an 18-month span when I was like 12, 13.
Raising Arizona.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a Nick Cage fan, for sure.
But,
But it's become a thing.
It's become a thing. A few years ago, younger people suddenly noticed something that older people have known for years. Nicolas Cage is a weird dude. So a few years ago, it became trendy to be a Nicolas Cage fan. If you wanted to be identified as quirky, you would declare yourself a Nicolas Cage fan. So I'm not buying this, but just in case for the very first time I'm wrong, I'll go ahead anyway. I believe this is also an English story. So the lady says she finds a Nick Cage shrine under her house. She said some worker dudes were doing something or another down in her basement. They found at least 12 photos of Nicolas Cage hanging from the ceiling. There was a kneeling rug, candles, a goblet, and a box full of knickknacks from his movies. She says she's lived in the house for a year before discovering this.
How could that be?
We're doing a little bit of remodeling at our nightmare, and I was hoping that we'd find something goofy in the wall. Like the other day, somebody found an inert grenade in their walls.
Yeah.
I was hoping we'd find something like that.
Nothing?
No.
That'd be fun.
We did find out we have no insulation.
Oh.
No.
Well, here's what you should do, Josh. You should leave something weird and creepy for the next people that buy that house.
I never considered such
It's only
a thing.
right.
Yeah.
Dana, you probably have a whole room full of weird and creepy things.
Yeah, and I'm in the process of moving, so I'm looking through stuff. So I'll find some creepy stuff that you can throw on your walls.
That'd be pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I've always wanted to find Bad Ronald in the walls of my house. Longtime listeners know what I'm talking about. If you want to watch a weird effing movie that just, it's cheap. There's nobody notable that I remember. It's from the 70s. There's a movie out there called, I've brought this up many times over the years. It's called Bad Ronald. One night, many years ago, 2 o'clock in the morning, I'm watching, Channel 9 in the middle of the night, and this movie comes on called Bad Ronald. And it's about this kid, like 12-year-old kid, lives in a house. His mother dies. He does not want to leave the house, so he hides himself in the walls of the house.
He looks creepy.
And then, of course, a new family moves in, and he falls in love with the family's daughter by watching her through the walls. And then eventually, at the end of the movie, he just comes crashing through the walls. I love you. And the daughter, he's been living in the house for 17 years. You got to watch Bad Ronald. That's who I want to find in the walls of my house. I want to know some kid's been in there whacking off for 20 years.
I just looked up Bad Ronald on Wikipedia, and two notable notes here. This was featured in the book, What Were They Thinking? The 100 Dumbest Events in Television History. And it's also one of professional wrestling manager Jim Cornette's favorite movies.
Really?
Yeah.
That's fascinating.
Yeah.
You got to watch Bad Ronald.
Isn't that the movie that, oh no, maybe I'm getting it confused. Janelle got mad at you for recommending to her?
That's very more recent.
It was a similar style, I thought. Like a scary type of creepy thing.
It was scary. That was called, I can't come up with it. The two rich kids torture the family. They beat everyone up with a golf club. Someone help me. It's only 10 years old or so, as opposed to Bad Ronald is, 50 years old. What the hell was that? Pretty blonde that everyone knows is in it, and a good actor. Tim Roth is in it. Tim Roth is his name.
Funny Games.
Funny Games.
Oh, that was the one? Yeah, I remember she came in. She was affected.
Yes, she was.
Scaffolding Jeebus on Nicolas Cage. He said he still owes him money for the movie Drive Angry. I hate him for that. I never saw Drive Angry.
I saw it. It was pretty bad.
Was it pretty? Well, he's been in a lot of those that are pretty bad.
All right, one more note on finding something weird in your house. Okay. A person said, so, this original nonsense made-up story about a Nicolas Cage shrine was fired up onto that Reddit. Another Reddit dork told their story of a weird home discovery. They said they moved into a new house. They found a small room in the basement with concrete walls. Red paint had been splattered on the walls that looked a lot like blood. And they said on the back of the wall there was a large red cross with 3 names written at either side and at the top of the cross. Those 3 names were the Father, the Son, and the A-Team.
Weird.
That's so
Oh, no.
What?
Gear grinding, truck driving Jesus grew up in Minneapolis. I did too, and lived in 2 places in Minneapolis. Both had very creepy basements. He said when he was a teen, his father was remodeling. They found a room that had been rocked in, and it had a bunch of dolls in it. He said, I'm like, screw this. This is how scary movies start. Yeah, wouldn't that freak you out?
I would have been absolutely terrified. Yeah, that's so scary.
Was that on purpose? Was somebody trying to freak someone out, or is that just one of those deals where somebody who lived there before you was insane?
Oh, no, I wouldn't be able to sleep.
This is from, okay, so this person says, when I was doing a remodel in Brooklyn Park, we took down some ceiling tiles to replace some lights, and then out popped some homemade pocket P-words made out of rubber gloves, some foam, and pat bottles. I don't know what a pat bottle is. That's from Dripping Sparky Jesus.
Dude, homemade pocket Broncos?
I guess so.
That's...
nasty.
Boy, I would, I don't know, I'd wash my hands for weeks after handling homemade pocket Broncos that were stashed in the ceiling.
A friend of mine's a contractor, and they were working on someone's house. I think it was Minneapolis as well. And they were snaking using a camera, right, to the ceiling, trying to figure out which way they needed to go to move wires and stuff like that.
The joists and whatnot.
Yeah, so they're looking through there. They were, trying not to disturb the ceiling too much. And they found a huge stash of old porns. And the homeowner, the wife, was right there with him, and he didn't know what to say, but she kind of caught a glimpse of it and said, what the heck is that? They had a good laugh about it. I wish I could remember some of the titles, but it was some creepy stuff.
Old
it was just
70s,
all these VHS tapes up there.
70s and 80s porno VHS. Okay.
Was there any homemade movies?
I don't know. Wouldn't that be something if they just sat and watched them together?
Yeah.
We got time for one more here. Cubby, I'm going to save the avian stories for tomorrow, since that'll take up some time. I'm going to skip ahead. Is that okay with you?
Oh, yeah. The last one, too, or are you going to go for the last one?
I'm going for the last one. Before we go, I'll try to explain the Chicago rat hole to you. But maybe some of you already know. The story says that it's world famous at this point because of that godless social media.
We've posted the photo on the internet.
We did?
Yeah.
Anybody already know the Chicago rat hole?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, pardon me?
Yeah. Yeah, I couldn't really tell what you said. Say it again.
Huh?
Yeah.
Well, before you went, do that.
The rat. The rat hole is not new. Some say it's been around for 20 years or so. What I understand it to be, it's the impression of a dead rat or a dead squirrel that was pressed into a sidewalk, almost like the chalk line you see around dead bodies in the movies. I think I have that right. It's on the sidewalk in a Chicago neighborhood called Roscoe Village. And for no good reason, ever since someone hung a picture of the rat hole up on Twitter, social media dorks have turned the spot into some kind of wacky-ass tourist attraction. It's been the site of a marriage proposal and a wedding. Look it up on our website. Look it up. Just check this out. It looks like a squirrel or a rat got squished on the sidewalk by, I don't know, a bicycle or something. And the impression it left has become this hot spot for dorks. They nicknamed the rat hole Splatatooey. And that's cute and everything, but the people who actually try and live in the neighborhood are friggin' done with this bit, and they want all the 20-year-olds to get the hell away from them. One resident went ahead and signed up on Reddit to talk about what a massive pain in the ass this has become. They included a bullet point list of annoying issues folks in the neighborhood have had to deal with ever since this became a thing. Here's the list. Garbage piling up, vape pens everywhere, cigarettes, alcohol, and food everywhere, random vandalism, people partying outside their house at all hours of the friggin' night.
Rat hole party!
Cars honking as they drive by, total loss of privacy, especially for the folks on the ground floor. People filming videos, leaving flyers all over the place, reporters outside to interview them. The mail carrier's been skipping their house due to the crowds and the news crews. They can't even get their friggin' mail. Street parking is all boned. People doing weird-ass rituals like prayer circles and chants around the rat hole. People have been accusing the neighbors in the neighborhood of trying to fill in the rat hole. Aren't you the one who was going to fill in the rat hole? They said they were afraid that someone's going to attack them over this friggin' stupid thing. They say, we've always liked the rat or squirrel. This is the neighbor speaking. We've always liked this bit. It was cute at first. People would smile and laugh as they walked by, but that was it. It's been there for 20 years, but now the internet has learned about it and taken things way too far. What was once a fun little quirk has become a trashy, cheap marketing ploy. Everyone just wants to capitalize on it and get their internet clout.
That's
Good
so
for this
typical.
person.
Well,
Good for them for speaking up.
If I know one thing about the internet, it's nobody's ever taken anything too far there, for sure.
Agreed, sir. I did think it was funny that somebody put some tiny little toy orange traffic cones around this thing. That was kind of hilarious.
Cute.
The resident wrote that they're glad that the rat hole brought some people joy, but we need to chill out.
It is pretty funny, but I could definitely see living there if it just gets to be too much.
I would go nuts.
Isn't it the Goonies house where people are freaking out because there's too many people going around the house from the Goonies?
The Goonies from 40 years ago?
Yeah, it's a big tourist spot. The lady who owned it for a lot of years got so frustrated that she said nobody can come up on the house. She eventually sold it, and the new owners are once again embracing, saying, "Hey, Goonies, come check out the house."
Never saw it.
I think it's past its time where you'd appreciate it.
Most definitely.
If you didn't see it growing up, you would not like it now.
The good news for these rat hole people in this neighborhood in Chicago, it sounds like the city of Chicago has also had enough, and they're going to replace the concrete slab where the rat thing was set up. Jesus balls. How stupid is all this? I would go nuts. But there you go. Splatatooey is a fun name. We'll be right back on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
Half-Assed Morning Show.
They're loud, they lose control, they do their little circus act. They're a nuisance.
93X.
Our experienced and certified technicians at Standard Heating have been trusted to keep our fellow Minnesotans comfortable and confident for over 90 years. We're ready to do the same for you, providing comfort you deserve since 1930.
Standard Heating and Air Conditioning's 94 years of business celebration is going on right now. You can save up to $1,930 on a new furnace and AC combo or boiler. Don't miss this great deal. Go to standardheating.com.
Business has always been about turning a profit, making money. But can it stand for something more? Something beyond dollars and cents? We think so. We think that today, business has a higher calling, a purpose to be fair and just, to do right by their workers, customers, communities, and the environment. And it turns out companies successful doing that also do better for their bottom line. When you see the Just Capital seal, it means this company is a force for good. Visit justcapital.com to learn more.
Sports on the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Something to celebrate. And at halftime, with everything on the line, a 94-foot hot center cut. And to the winner, the spoils of Pappy Van Winkle, a bottle, and other assorted prizes.
What the hell is this now? That's twice now, I think, in the last week that I've seen a college basketball game with that halftime show where someone puts a golf ball the length of the basketball court into, or they attempt to, putt that golf ball into a little shooter-tutor type of a thing. Do you know what I mean when I say shooter-tutor?
Yeah.
Okay. That's twice now I've seen this.
It's just 2 within like the last week.
These aren't, they aren't pulling these folks out the stands, for Christ's sake.
It's unlikely. I like this newest one because the dude's dressed like Gilligan from Gilligan's Island for some reason.
They make it seem like they're pulling these folks out their seats. These are effing professional golfers because they both made it. And they both, they both look like they know exactly what they're doing.
Yeah, they made it look easy.
Pumped.
They're pumped. They're told to get pumped. I mean, at any rate, this guy, the audio that Josh played, he won a bottle of hooch. But
Pappy Van Winkle.
Yeah, that's the first thing I thought was, the guy from a week ago, I think he won $10,000.
Yeah.
At least that's the way they portray it, that he won $10,000. This guy, I took too big a hit. This guy won a bottle of booze, and I thought, how cheap is that? But then they go on to talk about how this bottle of booze is worth,
He could sell it for like $2,400, they said.
This was in Louisville, at the Louisville college ball game. And this type of bourbon is so hard to find or so popular down there that there's a waiting list for it. What's the name of it again?
Pappy Van Winkle. Yeah, or Pappy Van Winkle. Sorry. I guess like you can buy it for $120, but you have to enter a lottery to have the ability to buy it.
Right.
And apparently, so many people want it, it's almost impossible to get. So you can buy one for $120, turn it around for $2,400 is what they said.
I don't know anything about booze. I only drink beer. Is there a bottle of hooch in this part of the world where there's a lottery system? It can resell. It can resell for thousands of dollars.
Well, I have friends that always try to get Pappy Van. They enter the lottery each year to try to get it, and they always get pissed off when they can't
Pappy
get it.
Van Winkle?
Yep.
That's how you say it?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Fair enough. Here's the deal. It wasn't anything fancy, but the Wolves handled their business last night in our nation's capital. They were able to beat the home club Washington Wizards by 11 points. The Pigs and Predators are scheduled to play a regular season game tonight in St. Paul with a 7 o'clock puck drop. We'll tell you more about that in about a half hour. The Gals Hockey Club lost by a goal at home last night. And just like we were talking about yesterday, that crooked-ass Jim Harbaugh. We'll tell you all about what's going on with Jim Harbaugh when Randy Shaver jumps in with us in about a half hour. But we got to get moving. Josh's News is coming up next.
Half-assed Morning Show. 93X.
It's a heinous crime of an elderly man in our community and have some serious concern, not only about public safety, obviously, as it's a homicide, but flight risk.
A University of Minnesota student's accused of murdering his grandfather in rural Michigan last month, with the student's mom as his alleged accomplice.
Oh, no.
And then things got weird.
His mother was the accomplice in him murdering his grandfather?
Allegedly so, yes.
Man, you thought your family was a mess.
Odd new details have emerged about the 87-year-old man who authorities say was killed by his 20-year-old grandson and 50-year-old daughter-in-law.
Oh.
Both of whom allegedly went to make such bizarre claims that authorities had to include evidence of paranormal activity in a search warrant. Investigators were able to quickly identify Margaret and Jacob Kempinen as potential suspects in the fatal shooting. They were reportedly located still in Minnesota, driving south on Interstate 35 toward Iowa. Authorities contacted the Clear Lake, Iowa Police Department, and officers were able to apprehend the duo when they stopped at a gas station. Following the arrest, Margaret allegedly told police her son was the one who killed Alvin, but both suspects reportedly made numerous outlandish claims about the circumstances of the shooting. For example, Jacob allegedly told police when they arrived at his grandpa's home, they believed the 87-year-old had already been killed by malevolent spirits.
Oh, God.
And the individual in that home was not Grandpa, quote unquote. Jacob advised these spirits stated Grandpa opened the well up behind the house and the spirits killed him. Similarly, Margaret reportedly said Alvin was not her father-in-law, claiming he had been moving around like a 20-year-old, not an 87-year-old.
Wow. We've got a real serious level of madness here.
The search warrant reportedly states Minnesota authorities were authorized to seize any evidence of paranormal activity, spirits, possession of bodies, including but not limited to the 2015 movie The Visit, because investigators noted that the mother and son stories were eerily similar to the events in M. Night Shyamalan's film. If you're not familiar with the movie, The Visit is about two siblings from Philadelphia who visit their grandparents at their isolated farmhouse. Although at first the grandparents seem pleasant, their behavior gradually becomes peculiar. As the erratic behavior intensifies, the siblings learn their real grandparents are dead and buried in the basement, along with uniforms from a psychiatric hospital, apparently revealing their grandparents are escaped mental patients.
Dudes, I saw that movie. That is one big, fat pile of dog feces. It is absolutely hilariously stupid, but that doesn't matter. What's wrong with this mother and son? I mean, they sound like they needed to be in a facility.
Yeah, they need some help. That's for sure. Too bad they couldn't get it before Grandpa dies, but yeah, I mean,
this wasn't really our grandpa.
No, it was a spirit.
Good Lord.
In the spring of 2018, a high school teacher in Tennessee named Alex Campbell gave his sociology class a wildly ambitious assignment. He asked them to solve a case gone cold for decades involving a potential serial killer. In the 1980s, a police task force was called to investigate the killings of several red-headed women whose bodies were found in Tennessee and neighboring states. But the crimes were never solved. Campbell thought revisiting them would make his sociology class more interesting for his students, while also putting them on a mission. Over the course of the semester, the students spoke with professional investigators, gathered evidence, and pieced together a nearly 40-year-old mystery to identify the killer responsible for at least 6 murders. And the Tennessee Bureau of Investigations has agreed with the students' theory.
There is no profile of this killer except for the ones the students created.
What if this guy's still alive? Like, what if he comes after us?
Once you start getting a few tips or a few leads or a few identifications, then the cold case isn't so cold anymore.
So no charges have yet been filed against the suspect, but police believe these high school kids solved the case. If you're interested, their dogged classwork is now the subject of a true crime podcast series called Murder 101.
I've been waiting on a true crime podcast.
Finally.
Yeah.
Are you guys
There's
familiar
not many
with
out
the
there.
Are you familiar with the term? What that is?
I've been waiting on this.
First time I heard about it.
A woman who went viral on social media after making claims a man assaulted her with a brick outside a Houston club.
Oh my God.
Is now accused of raising tens of thousands of dollars in a GoFundMe scam.
Yo, this man just hit me in my face with a brick.
No, he did not. He did not. According to court documents, 33-year-old Rhoda Osman, nicknamed the Brick Lady, initially told officers responding to a September 2023 report of an aggravated assault that a man threw a brick at her when she refused to give him her phone number.
She told the detective that responded that she was hit in the head with a brick after she refused to give her phone number to a guy on the street.
She also claimed to have ordered an Uber that happened to be driven by the man that she suspected threw the brick. Wow, what are the odds? She alleged the car was filled with female passengers, leading her to believe the driver was involved in a human trafficking scheme. She further alleged the driver tried to kidnap her upon entering the vehicle. None of it was true.
There was no assault done at that time. It was completely fictional.
Completely fictional. I like the way he said that.
Fictional. She was hit, but it wasn't with a brick. It was a water bottle by a man she knew, and apparently he responded after she slapped him.
She was the aggressor, yeah. He did have a water bottle in his hand, and we think that's what left the mark.
Investigators were contacted by someone claiming they remembered a GoFundMe that was either started by or for Osman in 2020, which bore similarities in terms of the purported victim's claims. In fact, a former roommate of hers spoke with investigators telling them they weren't friends because the attack didn't occur and the GoFundMe was a scam. She turned herself in on Tuesday.
What is wrong with this woman?
Yeah, I mean, she preyed on good folks. I mean, $42,000.
That's a lot, yeah.
Mm-hmm. 2 local firefighters suffered minor injuries yesterday morning after they were blown off their feet from an explosion. The fire department said the fire started in a dumpster and spread to a nearby home just after 5:22 a.m. The flames spread through the house, extending to all the floors and burning through the roof, that is, of the building. Firefighters noticed heavy smoke coming from a commercial building right next to it, which is home to several businesses, prompting a second alarm to be called for additional assistance and equipment at the scene. After crews gained access to the other building and opened one of the walls to search for the fire, there was an explosion from the smoke and gas buildup, otherwise known as a backdraft. 2 firefighters were blown off their feet from the explosion, both taken to the hospital for further medical evaluation, in stable condition at the time, thankfully. No other injuries were reported, and the cause of the fire is under investigation.
That'll part your hair for you.
Yeah, no kidding.
I bet when they explained that to people for the rest of their life, I was in the backdraft. Oh, like the movie. You're up. Yep, you're correct.
Yeah, I'm sure they get tired of that.
Yeah.
To the folks at the Minneapolis Fire Department, get well soon. If you've ever dreamed of living somewhere with year-round warm weather, miles of sun-soaked beaches, ample opportunity for celebrity run-ins, and the ability to stab someone over 100 times and get away with it, then California is for you. A California woman who fatally stabbed her boyfriend more than 100 times during what prosecutors called a cannabis-induced psychosis has been spared any prison time.
It's a very sad day for victims of crime. It's a very sad day for this family.
32-year-old Bryn Spracher was sentenced Tuesday to 2 years of probation for the 2018 stabbing of Chad O'Melia, a man with whom she'd been dating for several weeks.
How the hell is this possible?
Testimony showed she stabbed the poor guy 108 times and then stabbed herself. He just gave everyone in the state of California who smokes marijuana a license to kill, the victim's father said.
I think he set an absolute terrible precedent in the state of California where it's okay to kill somebody after you smoke marijuana.
Speaking about the judge there, the sentence was handed down nearly 4 years after Spacer went to the victim's apartment in Thousand Oaks, where they took multiple hits from a bong of marijuana. The statement says she had an adverse reaction to the marijuana and suffered from what was called cannabis-induced psychotic disorder. If she violates her probation, she will have to do 4 years in prison. She was also sentenced to 100 hours of community service.
So, simply because she was high and had this adverse reaction, she just walks?
I guess, yeah. They're saying she didn't know what she was doing. 108 times.
That is mind-blowing. Imagine that's your family member. That's the excuse? Well, yeah.
That poor family. I was watching interviews with the family. They're dumbfounded. Like, how the heck does this happen?
I'd go crazy.
Some more evidence that smoking is dangerous. A stranger stabbed a man with a screwdriver after the attacker tried to bum a cigarette in the heart of Times Square on Tuesday. The 31-year-old victim was smoking on a busy block filled with multiple restaurants and bars about 6:20 p.m. when another man asked him for a smoke. When he said no, the menace pulled out a screwdriver and stabbed him in the cheek. The victim was hospitalized in stable condition, and his attacker, a stranger, fled the scene. What the hell?
What are we doing?
That guy can't take no for an answer.
In the cheek.
A 15-year-old in Kansas is recovering after a slip on the ice led to a freak accident. The teen was helping with snow removal Saturday when he slipped on some ice and impaled himself on a pair of pliers.
I immediately reached out to our surgical backup options to see what was available for worst case scenario being we take it out and he has internal bleeding that needs to be controlled rapidly with surgery.
The tool pierced the teen's skin when he landed on it as one of the handles got stuck inches into his side.
I tried to pull him out a couple times. They didn't come out. I called Mom and told her I was on the way to the ER. My pliers were inside me.
At first, Mom didn't believe him.
I said, yeah, right, because he always jokes with me that he's headed to the ER and never is. I couldn't believe it because I just thought maybe it just poked it or, a little hole or something, not literally stuck in there.
He received initial treatment at a hospital where nurse practitioner Sarah Gibbs was shocked at his status.
Critical access hospitals just see a lot of everything. That is something I've never seen before, probably will never see again.
Gibbs acted fast, which meant a helicopter ride for the teen to Wesley Medical Center in Wichita. Luckily, no major surgery was necessary, and the teen was able to return home after a short hospital stay.
So I was editing this story this morning, and I absolutely cannot stand looking at this stuff like Randy Shaver. I'll almost puke. So I was cutting up the audio this morning, and when the video was playing, it stopped right when they showed the image of the pliers stuck in the dude's side, and then it just was buffering for 2 minutes.
Dude.
I'm just like, oh, bro, this is terrible to look at.
Did you feel like you were going to cack?
Oh, yeah. I was getting sweaty. I could feel the skin getting flush and everything.
Oh, poor guy.
When I was driving the Zamboni as a young guy, there was another feller on staff who he liked to wear a tool belt around. And he looked cool wearing it, of course. And he slipped on the ice, and a screwdriver stabbed him in the upper leg, half ass cheek, back of the sack kind of a thing.
Oh.
Yeah.
That went everywhere.
Yeah.
The sack even.
Stabbed him upside the ass cheek, left leg, nut sack.
Now on Netflix.
It was really funny. I got to admit, it was really fun. He's fine.
Streaming now on Netflix, Sofia Vergara stars in the limited series Griselda, based on the life of a savvy and ambitious Colombian businesswoman. The drug lord allegedly showed a young Escobar the ropes before he claimed his cartel throne. Also on Netflix today, the series premiere of Kevin Smith's Master of the Universe Revolution, with recognizable voices like Mark Hamill and Game of Thrones actress Lena Headey. It's technology versus magic as He-Man and the Friends fight back against the shadowy forces of Skeletor in an epic battle for the heart of Eternia. And making its Paramount Plus streaming debut, Tom Cruise's Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. Ethan Hunt and the IMF team must track down a terrifying new weapon which threatens all of humanity should it fall into the wrong hand. The second Tee It Up golf card goes on sale tomorrow at 9 a.m. Golf 6 area courses save $170. Per usual, these do sell out, so head over to 93x.com to get yours before they do.
Half-assed morning show.
They're loud, they lose control, they do their little circus act, they're a nuisance.
93X.
Our experienced and certified technicians at Standard Heating have been trusted to keep our fellow Minnesotans comfortable and confident for over 90 years. We're ready to do the same for you, providing comfort you deserve since 1930.
Standard Heating and Air Conditioning's 94 years of business celebration is going on right now. You can save up to $1,930 on a new furnace and AC combo or boiler. Don't miss this great deal. Go to standardheating.com.
What companies deserve your hard-earned dollar? Which would you want to work for? How can you know if they share your values? Just ask us. Just Capital is a nonprofit that tracks who really means business in supporting workers, customers, communities, the environment, and shareholders. We measure progress, track success, and help them be better. When you see the Just Capital seal, you know what's real, because just business is better business. Visit justcapital.com to learn who makes your dollar count.
Care 11's Randy Shaver.
If you see him, do not approach him. He is considered extremely dangerous. His depravity knows no bounds. I mean, this is someone who has nothing to lose, so I don't know what he's capable of doing.
On the Half-Assed Morning Show.
Does bulletin board material matter to you guys at all?
Depends what it is. What do you got?
Skip Bayless, after your game, tweeted out the following.
No, I don't care about anything he says. You can stop now.
I love it.
No. No. It's anything those guys say on daytime TV, you can skip over that.
That's old Jared Goff. Goff is the last name, the quarterback for the Lions. He was on a radio show, Summers, and the host of the show wanted to share with Jared the opinion of television personality Skip Bayless. Mm-hmm. And Goff just said he wanted no part of it. What's going on, Randy Shaver?
Not too much.
Huh?
Happy to be here, as always.
I was watching you on television last night.
Best part of my day.
Oh, that's nice of you to say.
I appreciate that.
I say that for Josh.
Because you know it makes my day.
Say that just to pick Josh's spirits up?
Yes.
What if I'm not?
About this time every morning, Josh needs a little pick-me-up.
I do, you're right.
What if I'm not feeling so good today? You got anything for me? What that, you son of a bitch. Skip Bayless, I can't remember if that, I don't really know who these people.
You're not going to like the guy.
Okay. I don't watch television sports programming at all.
Good for you.
I recognize some of the old jocks, but I don't know the hosts. I've never watched this McAfee guy. I've never watched Skip Bayless. So you tell me, Randy, Skip Bayless, you like him?
I'm not a fan.
All right.
So I was going to ask you guys how familiar you are with him, because I don't watch his show, but I see the clips, right? And it's usually something not good. So I was wondering if that's just what makes the rounds, and he's usually good, or what?
No, he's a totally manufactured wind-up doll.
He kind of seems like that. Like he just is on purpose trying to be a douchebag. He sets up just to get
people going. It's always something over the top and trying to shock people, and he's just arrogant and awful.
And then doesn't he walk it back all the time? Or say, hey, I'm sorry you took it that way? Isn't that kind of his shtick?
And dumb things, too. Like, he claimed he had this, illustrious high school basketball career, then somebody, of course, looked it up, because that's very easy, and he was on, a JV bench rider the whole time, his whole career. So just little things like that. The guy, he's a completely just manufactured shtick.
He kind of seems like he's a bit of a douche. I'm sorry for that language.
Isn't he the guy that got in the real pissing match with Sharp.
Yeah, they hated each other, right?
Yeah.
Shannon Sharp pretty much quit that show
Yeah,
because of
right.
Skip
Yeah.
Bayless.
So he told some story about his high school basketball glory,
Yeah.
and then when folks looked into it, they found out he was riding the pine.
Yep.
So kind of like that Russell Wilson story that I love so much.
Which one's that again?
Where did he go to school other than Wisconsin?
North Carolina or North Carolina State, maybe?
Yeah, I think it's NC State.
That sounds right to me. And I believe this is how it played out. I remember reading this online. And of course, you can't believe everything that you read online, but it wasn't like some ninth grader's website. I read this on ESPN. It was a reliable source, if that's what you want to call it. But he was valedictorian, or that's not the word. He was a guest speaker at the University of Wisconsin 10 years ago, whatever. A guest speaker at their graduation commencement because he spent a little bit of time at the University of Wisconsin. And he became a big shot with the Seattle Sea Ducks, so they invited him to be the guest speaker. And he got up there and he was telling this really cliche story about how you can never give up and, don't worry about the odds because look at me, I made it, one of those stories.
Yep.
And he talked about this college playoff baseball game that he participated in because he also was a baseball player in college. And he talked about this bases loaded, bottom of the ninth dramatic story about how the coach put him in. Go ahead, kid, show us what you got kind of a story. And, he gave specifics, who they were playing, what round of the tournament they were playing in. And he told this dramatic story of getting the game-winning hit. Well, for whatever reason, he didn't think that, anyone else could look up this kind of a thing.
Sure.
And a bunch of legitimate sports writers looked it up and looked up that particular game he was referencing, and the guy didn't even have a friggin' at bat.
Oh, that sucks.
That's funny.
That is good stuff. I love that stuff.
Yeah.
You want to keep on the football vibe here?
Why not?
We can keep going that way.
The khakis are back, man.
They sure are.
Khakis are back in the NFL.
Just like we talked about yesterday.
Yes.
That crooked-ass Jim Harbaugh is running away from his shady past at the University of Michigan. He's gone off to coach the Los Angeles Chargers ball club just in time, you said, Randy?
Yeah.
Right. Word is they signed him up to be head coach for the next 5 years. I'll tell you what. The Chargers owner, a fella by the name of Dean Spanos, he cannot hide his erection.
I'm sure he can't.
Listen to this. This is what the owner of the Chargers said. Jim Harbaugh is football personified. And I can think of no one better to lead the Chargers forward. Now, pardon me, Randy?
I don't disagree.
This gets confusing, though, Randy. Just listen to this.
Okay.
The son of a coach, brother of a coach, and father of a coach, who himself was coached by names like Schembechler and Ditka. Jim has led hundreds of men to success everywhere he's been as their coach. Did you get all that?
A lot of coach.
Yes. I got $5 that says Spanos says coach again before he's done. Here's the rest of his quote. Did I screw up? Did I misedit this? Oh, yeah. No. Here we go. Here's his final sentence. Today, Jim Harbaugh returns to the Chargers, this time as our coach.
Yes.
Who has it better than us? That's the owner of the Chargers.
Right.
Nobody.
That's the Harbaugh catchphrase.
Mm-hmm. Pardon me?
Jim Harbaugh's dad made that phrase famous.
Who has it better than us?
That's
Who
right.
has it better than we do?
Is the Harbaugh.
Nobody.
Who better than Canyon?
Nobody.
That's an old WCW catchphrase. The son of a coach, brother of a coach, and father of a coach who himself was coached by the names like Schembechler and Ditka. Okay. Mm-hmm. Jesus. No wonder these guys have egos so big they can't see straight. But here we go. The Chargers and Jim Harbaugh.
I think it's a great move. I think that it'll revitalize the Chargers. The only question I have is, will Jim Harbaugh's look at the NFL, his game plan in the NFL, be the same as it was when he coached the 49ers, 15 years ago or whatever it was? Because Michael Florio put out a tweet yesterday that I thought was interesting. When Harbaugh was the head coach of the 49ers, his teams ranked in the top 10 in rushing attempts, in the top 10 in rushing yards every year, but never finished higher than 29th in pass attempts.
Okay.
You've got Herbert there, who is arguably one of the better quarterbacks in the NFL, throwing the football. I can't imagine the Chargers are going to be 29th or worse in the NFL in throwing in pass attempts. So I wonder if how he sees the NFL now, as opposed to how he looked at it with Colin Kaepernick as his quarterback 15 years ago.
Very different game now, isn't it, Randy?
It's changed.
It's a very different game. It's flag football now.
Yeah, we'll see how he attempts to either adjust to that or go back to the way that he wants to play the game. Because, I think at Michigan, certainly a running football team first, but they threw the ball quite a bit more than, I guess, maybe he was comfortable with at some point.
So Harbaugh made his shady exit from Michigan, and now he's back in the NFL. The Chargers, by the way, fired a guy named Brandon Staley in December following a 63-21 loss to the Las Vegas Raiders. He was a bad coach.
Just could not get that team to be a contender.
They finished the season with a 5-12 record. Here's a text from overly optimistic Vikings fan Jesus, who says Jim Harbaugh is football personified. He was on Saved by the Bell.
There you go.
Was Jim Harbaugh on Saved by the Bell?
I think he was.
Well, that might have been like the college years. Let me look at it.
I didn't watch a lot of that.
I'll take his word for it. He's overly optimistic Vikings fan. Jesus.
Yeah, he was in Saved by the Bell.
Oh, yeah.
With the original?
Yeah.
Did he portray himself, or did he...
Screech's cousin.
He portrayed Screech's...
Yes.
I remember that episode. I didn't realize that was Harbaugh, though.
So what year are we talking he was on Saved by the Bell?
Between the 1995 and 96 seasons, he made a guest appearance on Saved by the Bell.
Okay, so he was quarterbacking the Colts at that point in his career.
Yeah, because it looks like Screech is dressed up as a quarterback.
Oh, man.
He played Screech's cousin.
That's funny.
Yeah, he's a love him or hate him kind of a cat, that Jim Harbaugh.
We know what side you're on.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and in case you're wondering, football dorks have already had a wet dream about this. In the next NFL regular season, the Harbaugh brothers will coach against each other.
Yes, they will.
God help us all.
Do you think he gets, yellow-colored khakis now that he's with the Chargers?
Oh, no.
Well, if he was Don Coryell and it was 1981,
right,
and grown people could get away with wearing yellow khakis.
Don Coryell had those waistband pants, right?
Yes.
That'd be sweet to see, the checkered board ones, but have yellow and white as the checkered board colors for the pants. That'd be sweet.
What's the color of your underwear, by the way?
If you're a younger person and you've never seen a picture of former Chargers coach Don Coryell, every picture of him, he looks like he just woke up from the toughest night of drinking he's ever had in his life. Yeah. He looked like he had a terrible hangover.
Oh, boy.
At all times. Doesn't he look? He looks uncomfortable.
Yeah, the little bit of hair he has is kind of messed up, too, sometimes.
In every one of his pictures, he looks terribly uncomfortable.
He was a passing coach genius.
Boy, did he like to wear his pants high.
Yeah.
Yeah, cinch that belt right below the nipples.
Yeah, he really did.
And back in those days, they did wear, bright yellow pants and a bright blue top on the Chargers coaching staff.
Looked like a golfing outfit more than anything.
Coryell, hairy forearms, a lot of hair on his arms.
Officer Nasty Jesus said that someone once said to Dustin Diamond, who played Screech in Saved by the Bell, Screech, is that just a nickname or the sound of your career coming to a halt?
Oh,
that's
cold-blooded.
No wonder that guy went out the deep end.
He did, didn't he?
He really did.
Yeah,
Cold-blooded.
It is cold-blooded.
He got arrested in Milwaukee in a bar on Christmas Eve one year for
He stabbed
stabbing a guy.
Yeah,
we remember that.
Yeah.
All right.
Rest in peace, sir.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Whoa, that was almost February 1st coming up on. Wow.
What? What are we doing now?
Next week.
We're approaching the anniversary of what?
Of his death.
Oh, no.
February 1st, 2021.
All right. That's just terrible.
That is.
A lot of stories going around. A lot of stories. Here's the general vibe I keep reading, Randy Shaver. If that prick Bill Belichick signs up to coach the Atlanta Falcons and he calls Kirk Cousins to be his new quarterback, Cousins will go down there and play for the Falcons.
I don't doubt that. Sure.
Yeah, Cousins says he wouldn't be against it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't either.
Yeah, you don't like him.
No.
I mean, like I've said, the Vikings have a very difficult decision to make about a lot of things on their roster, but quarterback is obviously number one. And it's not just about the quarterback, it's about how that affects everybody else, namely Justin Jefferson. So, if he leaves, then how do you move up in the draft, or at least attempt to move up in the draft to draft a quarterback, and then how do you bridge between the rookie quarterback and the time that he's supposedly ready? Because chances are pretty good you're not going to throw a rookie quarterback out there. You're not the Texans this year. You're not the Carolina Panthers. You probably feel like you've got a decent chance to compete if you had a veteran quarterback who can at least get you started. So a lot of decisions. It's going to be a very interesting year for the Vikings off season.
Sure.
About how they conduct themselves as far as their roster goes, and certainly their final decisions on the quarterback position.
You've got to keep our composure!
That's going to be the key.
Trade Justin Jefferson, Josh says.
Oh, no way.
That's how you get this.
Are you kidding me? I would never say something like that. I love that guy.
That would energize this fan base so much.
My kid would stab me in the throat if I ever said something like that.
But that's how you bring this team to the level where they need to be. You got to trade Justin Jefferson.
No.
Josh said.
Yeah. I didn't say that.
Josh.
Trade everyone but Andrew DePaula.
All right, our guy Captain Death Rocks. I'm not done with him yet. Kirk Cousins got a mention in an article from a website called BleacherReport.com. The article is titled "The Next Dan Campbell: NFL Players Who Would Make Great Coaches After They Retire." Now, of course, we all know the Lions are one game short of their first ever Super Bowl trip. This Dan Campbell thing has worked out. I vividly remember when this dude got fired, and I think we all came to the opinion where this is either going to be, when we first heard him speak and saw him operate.
He got hired, not fired.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
When he first got hired, of course, he hasn't been fired yet.
Okay.
When we first saw him on television, saw him speaking, we said this is either going to be an unbelievable success or a massive disaster.
Yep.
There's going to be no in between.
Well, yeah, he's talking about bringing a live lion out on the field, biting kneecaps off. Interesting guy.
Dan Campbell is all the rage now. They say he's inspiring, he's likable, he's a rah-rah guy. He's changed the mentality of the football culture in Detroit.
I know you don't watch Hard Knocks, but when they had the Lions on there and he was the coach, you could tell the players absolutely loved him.
Okay.
He really has that team.
So, the question is, which current players might have the Campbell touch as eventual NFL head coaches? And Cousins got a mention.
Yeah, I just think if you're comparing him to Dan Campbell and the personality, it's not the same.
Well, that's not exactly what they're saying. They're just saying a guy, a current player who can coach when they're done and just turn a franchise around, have that same effect. Not the exact same effect. But I don't know. Cousins strikes me as the type of guy that players would walk all over.
Yeah, he seems like a pushover.
He's too nice. He's too nerdy. He's too straight-laced. I think players have to fear their coach a little bit. Nobody's afraid of Kirk Cousins. That's my thought on it.
Well, I think Cousins would be, if he were to get into coaching, obviously he would be some sort of a quarterback's offensive coordinator type of guy to start his career. And then kind of go from there and see, how that develops. I could see him coaching. I mean,
we're talking about a head coach is what we're talking about.
I actually could see that.
Oh, for Christ's sake.
I could.
Oh,
I could see it. I'll bet you, though, he won't do that because it is extremely time-consuming. And he's got young kids and a family. And I just don't know if he would want to. He doesn't need to do that in order to survive in life. He's got enough money. He just doesn't need to do that.
No, he doesn't need to do anything.
Yeah, so
he could survive 15 lifetimes on the friggin' money that guy's made. I don't see it. I think he's just way too straight-laced to be, what's the term I'm looking for? That inspirational guy. I think there's got to be a little bit of an edge, a little bit of nastiness to you. But anyway.
Yeah, but I look at him kind of like I would look at Shanahan or guys like that who are not like overly intimidating people.
Pete Carroll.
Yeah, Pete Carroll. They're not overly intimidating people, but they're very good at what they do, obviously.
Josh mentioned Harrison Phillips in his news report. He's up for all kinds of Man of the Year awards because of his charitable actions and just being an all-around good guy. Nasty electrician, and congratulations to Harrison Phillips. Nose tackle, if I'm not mistaken, for the Vikings.
Correct. Yep.
He's got the beard on him. Nasty electrician, Jesus texted. And he said that Harrison Phillips went to school with Christian McCaffrey. McCaffrey's a running back for the San Francisco 49ers. He'll be playing this weekend, right?
Mm-hmm.
I got the right guy. Phillips went to school with Christian McCaffrey. After the Vikings played the 49ers this year, Phillips tried to do a jersey swap with Christian McCaffrey, but McCaffrey's a sore loser and wouldn't do it.
Oh, that's lame.
That's according to Nasty Electrician Jesus. F him and the Niners. Lions fan here till next season, says Nasty Electrician. He was butthurt because he lost, so he wouldn't do a jersey swap.
That is pretty lame. We've heard Harrison is a super funny guy, too.
Yes.
We heard that when he turned us down to be our Viking.
Yeah, I was just going to say, was he in the Pro Bowl? Because he could have been there if he didn't turn us down.
Yeah, see, I like this thought on a future NFL head coach. Pro Wrestling Mark Jesus texted in. I like this way better than the thought of someone like Kirk Cousins. Don Callis should be a head coach in the NFL.
Oh, yeah.
Don Callis.
He'll take every press conference.
People are joking about Aaron Rodgers, but don't you think he'd be a coach?
No.
If he wanted to?
Nope.
You don't think that if he wanted to coach somewhere, somebody wouldn't pick him up?
Maybe high school.
Good
maybe
question.
high school.
Maybe high school.
High school only, yeah.
Kind of like Brett Favre. Maybe high school. I don't see him being a leader of men, no.
49ers Deebo Samuel has been missing practice with a shoulder injury. Nobody's 100% that he's going to play in this weekend's NFC Championship game. Do they need that guy? Is he any good?
They do need that guy, and if I'm a Detroit Lions fan, I hope that news holds because that will be a plus in the right direction.
Deebo. Do they play movie clips from the movie Friday at 49ers home games when Deebo does something good?
I don't know.
God, that would be fun.
They should.
I love Deebo in Friday. But I'm glad he lost to Craig in that last scene. I mean, he was being kind of a dick. Deebo was. I mean, he stole Red's bicycle. It's a bicycle that Red shared with his dad. And I think he also stole Red's chain. His grandmother gave him that chain.
Oh, that's not right.
There was nothing fancy last night, but the Wolves handled their business. They were able to beat the home club Washington Wizards by 11 points, Randy.
Yeah, I mean, again, these are the games that the Wolves need to win and be, after coming off that terrible performance against Charlotte, terrible in the sense that they lost the game. Obviously, Cat had a great first half, and it was historic and all those things, but they just got too selfish and lost that basketball game trying to get Cat his points, and that was the wrong approach. And I think hopefully they learned a lesson by it. Not that last night was turning into that, but Anthony Edwards, I think, sent a message that they're back, and it wasn't pretty at times, but again, it's a win on the road and it's important. So.
They didn't shoot the ball terribly well, but they made up for that in other categories.
I agree.
Edwards did have 38 points. Carl had 27, but they didn't shoot the ball. They had to take a lot of shots to get that point total. Rudy Gobert had the best game maybe of those three guys. He 19 points, 16 rebounds. He had some great block shots.
Well, they took 100 shots last night.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty impressive when you can take 100 shots in a basketball game.
This time around, they at least had a decent fourth quarter, much better than the train wreck they had against the Hornets. The third quarter is what pushed them into the lead last night.
Exactly, yeah.
Offensive rebounds helped the boys get some second chance points. Those were probably the... Yes?
I'm sorry. They did it again without Conley, too.
Mike Conley makes that club so much better.
I agree.
And he missed last night. He's not feeling well. Hopefully he's good to go for tonight because it's a back-to-back kind of a deal tonight. They play in Brooklyn, New York against the Nets. That game starts at 6:30 on Bally Sports North Plus. All right, how about this? I found this really, really interesting. Oh, I don't know the website, and it doesn't really matter. But the topic is moves NBA Western Conference clubs should make before the trade deadline. It's
Yard Barker.
Yes.
Thank you, Cubby. Yard Barker. February 8th is coming up. The NBA trade deadline. And they mention the Timberwolves. And the move they suggest, they need some more offensive firepower. They say they're an elite defensive team, but the offense slows a bit when games get tight, and we have seen evidence of that.
Well, yeah, they play a lot of hero ball.
Yes, their offense is 18th in the league. I'll get the terminology right here in a second. They are the 18th ranked offense in the clutch. In the clutch. So there must be some measuring device for the last 5 minutes or two, whatever.
Yep.
So they say, if you want some offensive firepower, you want a clutch player, they should call Chicago and bring back Zach LaVine.
Yeah, he's hurt right now, though. And he's been hurt pretty much all season.
I know he has injury problems.
So I'm not.
But that's exciting to think about. A healthy Zach LaVine. My damn, I miss watching him play here. He was so much fun. And he's got balls. He is a clutch player.
Yeah, if he's healthy.
Yeah.
I think it's I wonder what you'd have to give up to get him, but I think he's the kind of player that would help them. He kind of plays the same position as Edwards. So, I guess I would look at more like a guy like Kyle Kuzma, who plays for Washington last night. Yeah. Plays a forward position, 4 or a 3. A guy like that. Personally, I like a guy a lot like a Miles Bridges at Charlotte, who kind of does a lot of dirty work, but is still a good player. He rebounds, he assists, he can shoot from the outside. Guys like that, I think, would be interesting fits with this club, and I think they are going to make a move of some type. Okay. Veteran player, somebody that can push him, so.
Just the other day, Cubby, I was eyeballing my Zach LaVine bobblehead doll up on the shelf.
Oh, yeah? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I said, what might have been?
Yeah.
That was part of the Jimmy Butler deal, wasn't it?
It was.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Jimmy friggin' Bottles, that son of a bitch.
General soreness.
Yeah. Here's Eastbound at Sundown Jesus, who says, Zach LaVine equals 0 defense.
Well... Yeah, I mean...
All right, well, we're just looking for him to score some points in the clutch.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. 93
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. New episodes drop each weekday. If your podcast platform has ratings, go ahead and give us 5 stars and maybe give our enemies 1. Thanks, and here's a word from our sponsor.
Standard Heating and Air Conditioning's 94 years of business celebration is going on right now. You can save up to $1,930 on a new furnace and AC combo or boiler. Don't miss this great deal. Go to standardheating.com.